So is data science still the sexiest job of the 21st century? I'm going over a couple of articles, one from 2012 and one from this year, where the Harvard Business Review says that data science is the sexiest job of the 21st century. That was in 2012. And now this year they came out with an article saying, is data science still the sexiest career of the 21st century? So we're going to compare those articles from 10 years apart and see where data science sits as a career in 2022. Now here's a summary of that article from 2012. Back in the 90s, computer engineer and Wall Street quant were the hot occupations in business. Today, data scientists are the hires firms are competing to make. As companies wrestle with unprecedented volumes and types of information, demand for these experts has raced well ahead of supply. Indeed, Greylock Partners, the VC firm that backed Facebook and LinkedIn, is so worried about the shortage of data scientists that it has a recruiting team dedicated to channeling them to the businesses in its portfolio. Data scientists are the key to realizing the opportunities presented by big data. They bring structure to it, find compelling patterns in it, and advise executives on the implications for products, processes, and decisions. They find the story buried in the data and communicate it. And they don't just deliver reports. They get at the questions at the heart of the problems and devise creative approaches to them. So, the basic summary of this 2012 article is that data scientists are needed and companies are competing to hire them because there's a vast quantity of information and data coming into companies, even in 2012. Now, obviously, things have changed since then, but at the time, this was an unprecedented amount of information and data that was coming in, and they needed somebody to parse through that, and that's where kind of the data scientist term was born. Now, here they also go on to say exactly kind of where this term was really born, and it was coined in 2008 by DJ Patil and Jeff Hammerbacker. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. But they were the respective leads of data and analytics efforts at LinkedIn and Facebook. So they saw that at LinkedIn they had these massive amounts of data on people because they had their job information, where they went to school, what kind of projects they worked on, and they wanted to get these people to make connections on LinkedIn. So that's where the term data scientist was actually born. They were trying to figure out how they can make these webs of people intercross and that they can actually start making connections and using LinkedIn properly. Now, and what they're saying in 2012 is that if your organization stores a lot of data and it doesn't reside in forms just like rows and numbers where a typical data analyst would be working, where you actually have to mash up a bunch of different forms of data, this is a big data opportunity. And this was in 2012, so that was kind of a new thing for them at the time. A lot of the work that went into harnessing big data to be able to be used was actually in making data visualizations or wrangling data or data engineering, getting that into the correct pipeline so that you could actually do analysis on it. So in 2012, if that's kind of what the big problem is with big data, this is kind of what some of the responsibilities of a data scientist would fall into. Now, typically you would think of a data scientist to be somebody who's fitting models and using machine learning, but I don't really necessarily think that's always the case because from my experience, even data scientists that I see today that I work with, a lot of their work goes into actually data engineering, data cleaning, data wrangling. So that was even a problem back in 2012, but we'll look at the other article in a minute to see if things have changed according to Harvard Business Review. But data science at its most basic, at least to me, is someone applying software engineering principles and techniques to use statistics on specific business problems. And the problem is at the time you're starting to introduce a lot more data and information using the internet, and you need new techniques in order to comb through that data and get exactly what you need. And that's kind of the working with big data problem that they're talking about here. Even here in 2012, they're saying, what kind of a person does all of this? So that's talking about data science. Think of them as a hybrid of a data hacker, an analyst, a communicator, and a trusted advisor. And they're saying that the combination is extremely powerful, but extremely rare. And that's kind of what they're getting at is you need to have that software and technical background. You need to have a statistics background to understand what kind of implications the findings and data can have. But then you also have to have somebody as a trusted advisor who knows kind of what these solutions and what these findings actually mean for a specific business. So that's the combination that makes up a data scientist. I mean, and if you even think about the word data scientist, it's applying scientific methods to data. Experimental physicists, for example, also have to design equipment, gather data, conduct multiple experiments, and communicate their results. But that's exactly what a data scientist is doing, they're just applying it to a specific business question. And even in 2012, the chief economist at Google was known to say that the sexy job in the next 10 years will be statisticians. Thank you very much. But he said, people think I'm joking, but who would have guessed that in the 90s, computer engineers would have been the sexy job. Here they're saying, if sexy means having rare qualities that are in much demand, data scientists are already there. So that's in 2012. But how does that compare to today? Is data science still a job that companies are actively searching out. Is data science still a sexy job, quote unquote? So, as a statistics major who just graduated, am I still considered sexy? Is basically what we're getting at. So, jumping over to the article from today, well, at least July of this year, they said that 10 years ago, the authors said that data scientist was the sexiest job of the 21st century. Does that claim still stand? So the job has seen growth in popularity and is generally well paid, this we know. And the field is still projected to experience more growth in the next few years. But they're saying that the job itself has changed. Well, how much has it changed? But that's what we're going to explore in the rest of this video. But it says in both large and small ways it's changed. It's become better institutionalized, the scope of the job has been redefined, which again we know, but let's see exactly what they're saying. So in the first part of this article, they're just talking about how that in 2012, much of this demand for data scientists and big data experts was in, the coastal cities, so the Bay Area, working in San Francisco, working for Facebook and LinkedIn and Microsoft and Apple. But the demand for data scientists has expanded well upon that to almost any job that you can think of or any company that you can think of. I'm sure you've all seen that, manufacturing plants hire data scientists, insurance companies hire data scientists. Working with big data and the changing landscape of how we collect and how much information we're collecting on people and the internet has changed vastly in the last 10 years. And almost any company has this huge stockpile of information and data, or they at least have the ability to get that if they wanted it. So that's where the data scientists are coming in. And so obviously now in 2022, with the rise of artificial intelligence or machine learning or whatever you would like to call it, it's becoming increasingly popular in business, especially in those tech companies. And I think that it's only a matter of time before that really starts to be pushed out in other companies as well, similar to how data science was. But at the time, data science wasn't working with machine learning and artificial intelligence as much as it would heavily rely on it today. And here they're saying that many of the same headaches still remain though. Even with all this artificial intelligence and machine learning, the exciting stuff that people think of in data science, many data scientists still spend most of their time cleaning and wrangling data. So not much has changed since 2012. Some of the tools and applications that you can use and some of the techniques that have been developed since then have changed, but still much of the data scientist's time is spent cleaning and wrangling data. And since then, there are many specific degree programs that someone can go into to get into artificial intelligence or machine learning or data science. And most of those people are master's levels or PhD level students when they come into a data science role. So there's entire courses and everything you could think of under the sun at any given college. There's going to be something related to data science. And I think it's for good reason, because data science has grown tremendously since 2012. And there is need for data scientists still. But how is data science going to be considered the sexiest job of the 21st century when a lot of the work that they do is on cleaning and wrangling data? And so, while data science is still a sexy job, in my opinion, and even in the Harvard Business Review's opinion, I think there needs to be more of an emphasis and focus put into the people that help data scientists do their job and the people that data scientists need to help to do their jobs. So that's where the next section of this article goes into. It goes into how data scientists supplement other specific roles at companies. So in 2012, data scientists were expected to do all of this, from the pipelining of data to getting it into a usable format, cleaning and wrangling data, getting that into a single data set, and then also fitting models, developing algorithms, and then taking those results and presenting those to their stakeholders and managers. This simply is not really the case anymore. A lot of these companies you'll see also have machine learning engineers, data engineers, AI specialists, analytics specialists, and even data science-oriented product managers. Even I, as a junior analyst, work with a lot of these different roles here that I just listed out. So the role of data science has changed to be a lot more general in scope to very narrow focused. And so with all this being said, the world of data science has changed in the past 10 years. And while data scientists are still a quote-unquote sexy job, I think there needs to be more sexification of data engineers and analysts and product managers who work in the data sphere, as well as anybody who interacts with a data science type role. There's people who work with data and understand data, and then there's people who also kind of organize all these people together and try to point them in the right direction towards a specific goal that would help the business. So yes, data science is still a sexy job in 2022, but Let's not forget about all the different people that interact with data scientists on a daily basis and understand that they are all important to a business. Now, as an analyst myself, I've come up with 5 or so skills that you need to know. So watch this video next to see exactly what those skills are and how anybody can learn these skills and understand them to become a good data expert. I'll see you over there.